What if everything you believe about your body was an illusion? What if the ultimate truth hidden in the ancient scripture is that you don't need a body? Today we uncover the secrets of the rainbow body, a phenomenon where saints dissolve into light and color. And the secret to dissolve the body is hidden in the secret scriptures of Tibetan Buddhism and Indian lineages. Through intense meditation, breath control, and realization of the illusory nature of form, these masters transcended the physical. It is a well documented event that the bodies of enlightened beings shrank or split into colors, leaving behind only nails and hair. This phenomenon is known as rainbow body, and it is well documented in the ancient text and in the modern times. More than 100,000 enlightened beings have dissolved their bodies into rainbow. You can see such an event in the video which was captured at the time of the death of Pinar Rinpoche in 2009. There are notable names in the Indian and Tibetan spirituality who have attained rainbow body before or at the time of their death. Padmasambhav was a tantric master who brought Buddhism to Tibet. Vimal Mitra, an Indian Dzogchen master who taught Buddhism in Tibet. Sri Singha, the Dzogchen master of Padmasambhav and Vimal Mitra. Nyala Pema Dundal, a 19th century famous Dzogchen yogi. Togden Dragrik, a modern Dzogchen master in the eastern Tibet. Khenpo Acho, the Nyingma Lama in eastern Tibet. Tenzin Namdak, Rinpoche's teacher from the shaman tradition of Tibet. There are many Indian spiritual beings whose rainbow body has been documented in the ancient scriptures. Patanjali, the sage of Yoga Sutra, said to have achieved the divine body, Divya Sharira, is still believed in some tradition to exist in subtle form. Tirumular, a practitioner of Tamil Siddha tradition, entered into another's body to continue his teachings. He wrote Tirumanathiram, a yogic scripture that describes the attainment of immortal body, which is called Kaya Siddhi. Ramalinga Swamigal Valalar, a Tamil poet, mystic and saint, explicitly spoke about attaining a deathless light body, Sudha Deham. He locked himself in a room in 1874 and his body reportedly disappeared. Maha Avatar Babaji, a Kriya Yogi, attained an immortal light body and lives in Himalaya guiding select yogis. Paramhansa Yoganand has documented this in his famous book Autobiography of a Yogi. Trailanga Swami from Advaita Vedanta tradition stayed in Samadhi floating on the water with utmost control on his body. Goraknath, a Nath Yogi, achieved Kaya Siddhi, the perfect body, and could appear and disappear at will. Kabir, who is believed to come from the Bhakti tradition, left his body when his Hindu and Muslim disciples were quarreling over his remains. There are many such instances where a spiritual being, a yogi, has either shrank his body or has dissolved it into a rainbow. The list is so big that it cannot be included in one video. This has even prompted the Christian scholars like Father Francis Tissot to explore the parallels between rainbow body and resurrection of Jesus, raising powerful questions about what it means to transcend the body. The rainbow body is called Divya Sharira, Siddha Deha, Videha Mukti, Kaya Siddhi, Sudha Deham, Linga Deha, but the goal remains the same: to dissolve the medium of illusions and experiences, the body, to go beyond the greatest and the strongest of all illusions, the body. This evokes many questions. How do we achieve the pinnacle of our being? Why is this truth hidden from normal people? The time has come when everybody should know the ultimate goal of human existence. Most of us are unaware of the real potential of our being. We often limit it to the physical realm, the things we can touch, the things we can feel, the things we can experience with our five senses. Neil Gaiman understands our state of being as a disease, saying life is a disease, sexually transmitted and invariably fatal. Buddha has profound way of saying that happiness and sadness both are suffering and one has to go beyond that. We are born and we are going to die. The death is inevitable shadow of the birth. We wander in samsara, in the mundane world, seeking meaning in life. There is no meaning and there is no purpose. This statement might sound anti-life, but it isn't. It is about finding the very essence of life. The goal of human life is not to eat and excrete. It is to find who we truly are. It is to be so much aligned with the self that we are one with everything. The goal of human life is enlightenment. It is the only way to free yourself from the bondages of good and bad, sad and happy, and life and birth. It is not about physical revolution, but it is more about eternal evolution. We are born to realize the truth that we are all one. One with the universe within and one with the universe without. This body is just a veil between what you truly are and what is reflected of you in front of you. Lift the veil and life is a direct experience. No one standing in front of you and the reality. Not even you. The rainbow body is not the end. It is a return. Like a dewdrop dissolving into an ocean or a prism reflecting the pure light into a rainbow. In the world obsessed with the material perfection, rainbow body reminds us of our spiritual origin and our infinite potential. In this video, we are going to uncover the secrets of how to achieve the rainbow body. I still remember a Zazen practitioner asking me this question. She was an advanced meditator, having sat with many of the India's greatest spiritual masters of 70s and 80s. I was sitting in a gazebo of an ashram in South India where she entered quietly and asked, "If everything is an illusion, isn't this body an illusion too? If body is not you, who is watching it?" Only a true seeker, someone who has touched the silence, could ask such question. And such question cannot be approached with logic. There are documented evidences of rainbow body, and yet it defies the logic, the biology, and the very law of physics. To understand this deepest secret of our being, one has to go beyond logic. Logic is an instrument of ego. And the spiritual journey begins when you dissolve the ego. It is not about the question who I am, but it is about the question who is asking who I am. Who is thinking of the person who is thinking when you close the eyes. Only humans are capable of such introspection. Hence this birth is significant to reach the pinnacle of evolution, not only on this planet, but in the universe. A baby in the womb is in state of nirvana. At the birth, it cries to the suffering of this world. Rest of its existence is supposed to be a return to the state of nirvana. But we get busy making a living. Living is not an effort to be made. It is not a series of events to be lived from one event to another. Life is a celebration. It is to be lived from moment to moment. And perhaps this is the key to dissolve the effort and live in such presence that body itself becomes the light. To reach the pinnacle of spirituality, the mind must be trained to dissolve. And to dissolve the body, one must loosen its grip. To the fire, breath, silence and surrender, the seeker adapts to the reality beyond form. Great masters didn't just meditate, they transcended. They walked the path of intense discipline, far from the comfort of the known. Yogis isolated themselves into the silence and shadows, burning karmic seeds, shading identity, and exhausting the attachment to the physical form. In Dzogchen, Toggle is practiced, meditating on the pure light until the body itself becomes light. Tamo the inner fire ignites a subtle energy, preparing the body to vanish into radiance. In Tamil Siddha tradition, Kaya Sadhana, through breath, energy work, mantra, the body is refined into pure light. Zazen, with its stillness, reveals the deep truth. The body is witnessed, not owned. At this stage, the meditator enters the shunyata, a state of nothingness. These were not the path of escape, they were acts of radical presence leading beyond death into the rainbow body. But with so many paths and so many traditions and so many lineages, one question arises: is there a simple way? One approach? The good news is there is a simple solution. All the practices that we have explored so far were intended for people from diverse cultures, diverse lineages, and different minds. Despite diverse traditions, all paths point towards the same source. The essence of all techniques is stillness and direct seeing. The modern era is bringing us together in many things that we believe in and the way we see the world. We don't have to wander in the forest or live in the caves to find the truth. You can be in the middle of the chaos of this busy world and still find the unmoving center within. You don't need caves and cremation grounds. You need attention. Spirituality is accessible even in the heart of the modern chaos. The practice is simple. Sit, watch, observe. Sit in meditation and look directly into the nature of thoughts. Watch your thoughts like cat watches the mouse, alert, still, and unmoving. As the thoughts settle, the mind turns inward. Soon the seeker glimpses the source of thought, pure, clear, and silent. When you'll stay in the state of stillness for long enough, you will find that the source of thought is nothing. It is shunya, the void, the unmoving reality behind all movement. This is the greatest discovery humankind can make. A realization that the mind, the body, the identity is temporary reflection. A realization that the sound is nothing but the play with silence. Silence that has been there for eons, waiting to be discovered. The true self is empty of form and full of presence. This realization is the beginning of rainbow body. Spirituality does not begin by saying what I will gain. It begins with the question, what are you willing to let go? The countless births of this body and countless incarnation of the soul has brought you to this realization. The body is knowledge passed down by the ancestors, and the soul is the knowledge passed down by the past births. To evolve in the true meaning is to shed the cocoon of this knowledge and spread your wings. Are you willing to let go of your careers, your families, and even sanity, chasing the glimpse of this truth? Even that is not enough. Are you willing to let go the spirituality itself as a last gate? The known and the knower both have to dissolve. The seeker must be willing to die before dying to truly live beyond the form. This notion is not anti-life. It is celebration of the life. This inner death feels like the end, but it is beginning of the rainbow light. Yogis and mystics spend everything they have just to realize this truth. They spend their physical possessions, mental and emotion possessions, and even the spiritual possessions. All your lifetime you were waiting for this. All your births are destined for this. This formality of occurrence is just to realize the true nature of your existence. Irony is such that this true nature is empty, and we have been busy filling it with thoughts out of fear. Rainbow body is not an invention, but it is discovery of who you are. And the rainbow body is not something you become, but what you uncover. On the surface, the life will go on as it has always been. The goal here to acknowledge that you being the drop in the ocean makes you the ocean. The body is not separate from the superconsciousness. You are the wave on the surface, the daily shenanigans of the mundane life, but you are also the depth of the ocean, the unmoving center of your core. Living the life aware, the daily tasks like walking, eating, speaking, even working become a sacred act. No one is found to doing all of it. Only doing remains. The doer disappears. When you detach from the identity you assume while raising your family, doing your job, you become no one and everyone at the same time. Then what purpose does this body have? Projecting the identity was the only purpose of this body. The purpose is to dissolve everything you do and everything you are into oneness. Without you, there is no action. And without you, there is no reaction. The law of cause and effect ceases to exist. Inspect this very impermanent nature of your being. The joy, the sorrow, even this body will pass. What will remain is only awareness. Your being becomes a service. Nothing more than service. The seva cleanses your past karmas. Seva is the key to breaking from the bonds of karma. Once you are free from the sorrow, the guilt, the anger, and the temporary gratifications of the shallow life, you live as a light and not form. And that is the first step and the giant leap towards the rainbow body. The seeker no longer seeks, the seeker becomes the path. Not a person chasing the light, but light simply being.